Hello gamers, welcome to Pillars of Eternity and Playing Hardball. So this is a very nice, old school, so-called classic role-playing game. Let me just reduce the sound a little bit further. I think the music is slightly too loud maybe, like so. And I am going to present this game to you, so you can be educated gamers. I think this is like, you know, if you're an educated person, then you know, of course, about certain books, certain pieces and achievements in literature and the movies and series productions, and the same goes for the games humanity has brought forward, and one of these is Pillars of Eternity, that is basically a successor to the old Baldur's Gate series, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and also Icewind Dale, for example. It uses the Unity engine. We will see it in just a few moments. What we will do now, like with all of my reviews and introductions to a game, we will play the first part. I will give some tips, advice, explain how the game works, what is essential, what is important, and as your friend from next door, basically, I'm doing this all uncut, of course. So you see the loading time. So I'm using a pretty good computer with an RTX 3080 graphics card, a pretty competitive CPU, so there is no limit in computing power here. So what you see is like basically the maximum. We can also see the graphics, so they're actually like at the maximum. Yeah. And after that, after this brief introduction, there will be the spoiler section. So I'm warning you right now, and after, you know, the general introduction, I will also repeat that warning, and then we will dive into one of my latest save games, and then I will show you the party that I had or used to play this game through, and I will give some further notes, but of course there will be some criticism as well. So, but this game here is thought of a game that revived the CRPG, so the classic role-playing games, right? So let's start a new game. We have a lot of options here. Pretty much, if you want to suffer, then you can use the expert mode or the trial of iron. Like for what we want to do is let's just use normal right now. Hard is probably more interesting, you know, if you really want to do a lot of stuff with the micromanagement. So I think I started with hard, and at some point, because something happened with this game that has never happened before with me, but I will explain later. Yeah, so this game has been sitting on my hard drive like for 6 years or so, and I always played it a little bit, and then I basically lost interest in this game. Yeah, I'm still not entirely certain why. Maybe because it's really huge, but it's probably also a thing about the characters, but we'll dive into that later. But it is certainly epic, and the story is really good, very interesting, very philosophical. Yeah, so the narrative is definitely one of the strong points. And
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead, You will go no further tonight.
Okay, and as we can hear, so the voice acting is also pretty nice. And this is the start. So we arrive in the Gilded Vale, or rather the Deerwood. And here we start with our character creation. So obviously, like the classic role-playing game, yeah. We start out with the hero, so we do have humans. And as we can see, every race, like in most other role-playing games, always comes with certain advantages, sometimes also disadvantages. We have humans, Aumua, they are so some kind of island folk. They are bigger and stronger, so might. I'm explaining the stuff just in a few moments, like the attributes. Dwarves, not much to talk about them, yeah. Stocky, hard, but also, due to the short legs, obviously not so dexterous, right? Elves, the opposite. Maybe sometimes slightly more fragile. But actually there is no real disadvantage in having an elf, except for the lost opportunity, right? To have someone sturdier. So, dexterity and perception is what they bring. Orlans, they are basically, yeah, some form of cat people, you could say. Small, agile, but also not so mighty, and the godlike. They do have some problems in social terms sometimes because they are so different. And they can't wear any headgear, which is actually a significant disadvantage. But they do come with some advantages as well. So let's look into these godlikes maybe for the moment. So with every race we do have different subclasses basically that come depending on the race with different advantages. Like for example the Aumua, they have an additional weapon set if they are island Aumua, or they have an additional bonus when defending against prone and stun, and actually pushing someone to the ground, so making them prone, or stunning someone is actually extremely valuable in this game, and at the same time, for yourself, pretty dangerous if you're lying on the ground. So that is not to be underestimated. That's my first tip here, that you wanna do something or get something that you can defend against such attacks, but also do them for yourself. So mountain dwarfs, like the classic stuff, yeah, they are more hardy, have a higher defense against poison and disease. Boreal dwarfs, they are kind of the wilder version. So they are better hunters, basically, right? So elves, wood elves, this is actually very good if you want to play a character that is rather shooting instead of stabbing or slashing someone or clubbing someone to death. Because they get an additional accuracy bonus if they are further away from someone. Well, these guys, the pale elves, have a higher defense against burn and freeze damage. So we do have elemental damage as well, which is burn, freeze, or like cold damage, corrosive damage, and yeah, I think that's it. Or like, and then of course like pierce, slash, and crush damage. And yeah, we'll look into that one in just a few moments. Yeah, the Orlans. So we have Hearth Orlans, so they are maybe, she looks cute, doesn't she? So they are the more civilized version, maybe, but because they are so small, people don't think that they are a threat, so they don't look at them too much, which means that some of the hits these guys score become crits. So there are actually, you can score a normal hit, or a crit, or you can just graze someone, or you can miss someone if you hit someone, right? A graze only deals half damage, and for the duration of an effect, it's also half duration only, while a crit is increasing this one by 50%, right? While the normal hit is just the normal hit, as I said. So Wild Orlans, they are the rougher type. And strong-willed, you could say, as we can see here. After being subjected to a will attack, Wild Orlans temporarily gain a bonus to all defensive. And the Godlike, we have Death Godlike, Death Usher. When Death Godlike attack an enemy with 25 or less endurance, their damage is increased. They are kind of scary, of course. And there will be negative, or a lot of negative reactions to these guys from people. Flame or Fire Godlike, when reduced below 50% endurance, Fire Godlike glow like metal in a forge, gaining damage reduction and doing a small amount of fire damage to any creature who hits them in melee. So in my opinion, this is probably only worthwhile during the early game. Yeah, but I mean, it's of course also a matter of taste, and unless you go into the very high difficulty levels, this is just about number crunching, right? So Moon Godlike, however, this is like very, very nice team player in my opinion. Every encounter when reduced below 75, 50 and 25% endurance, Moon Godlike generate waves of healing moonlight that restore endurance to them and their allies. Now that is very social and nice, isn't it? So she can be a very nice cleric, a frontline cleric, so obviously you want her to be hit. Yeah, so she's most likely someone you want to make a tank. And then the Nature Godlike grants a bonus to might, constitution and dexterity when endurance is below 50. So also, yeah, but this is of course more a thing like keeping her below 50%. Is of course dangerous, so she needs to be tanky as well, right? So, and endurance, by the way, so we do have hit points and endurance, so people can knock you unconscious if your endurance goes 0, but then you don't die, unless your hit points are also reduced to 0, but you have like 4 times the number of hit points than your endurance. So, for our purposes here, now let's take a dwarf. So, and let's have a mountain dwarf. Poison and disease attacks, yeah, why not? So, and then we have some interesting classes that, or actually one only, that is actually something new. But let's look at them. Barbarian, obviously. Yeah, and there we go, there we see we do have some skills as well, so, but we'll look into that just in a moment. Yeah, every class comes with an initial bonus to these abilities. Yeah, we have athletic, survival, lore, which we basically use for using scrolls. So if you're a caster, then you don't need it. I never use any scrolls, I think. But I like to play someone that has magical abilities. But if you want them, you know, it's a good addition to a character that is more a fighter. Then you can push the lore a little bit, and then you can use some magical effects as well. But I personally, I actually rather keep the scrolls and other stuff, and then rather sell them. Or keep them for later and never use them at all. Yeah, that's usually something that happens with me. Often then we have the Chanter, that is something interesting, but it's probably also more like yeah, well, he's a singer, so he's basically like a normal fighter, but he sings all the time, and after singing for a while, you can cast a spell, basically, yeah. Which is not, yeah, but he's not necessarily a roguelike or something, although he comes with the mechanics bonus for the beginning. But every character, like, it doesn't matter which class you take, you can level up these things here every level anyway. So we have the mechanics, the priest, athletics, lore. Yeah, I'm mousing over it. You can read it if you want. But athletics is basically important for scripted events and also for a ability that you can get once you level up, that lets you regenerate endurance quickly during combat only once per battle. Then we've got the Cypher. That is interesting. So the Cypher is sort of a psionic. You need to deal damage with weapons. That builds your focus, your concentration basically, and with that you can also basically cast spells. Very interesting spell. So I played a Cypher. We'll look into that one later on in the spoiler section. And I found that one actually pretty interesting. But I played a Cypher that used long range. Yeah, I played an elven Cypher with a blunderbuss, so that is basically a shotgun. Yeah, like a flintlock shotgun. So, and then we see here another one, stealth. So you can sneak up to enemies, but that's it. That's all you need stealth for. Ranger, the usual thing, shooting someone, and you have an animal companion. And survival, which is, as far as I remember, only remotely important for scripted events, but usually if you rest, you can see these bonuses here. And they might help, I think, like in the early game, especially. Later on it becomes less important unless your difficulty level is extremely high, and then of course it's important, like every single point counts. The druid, it's also spellcaster, like the usual stuff. Yeah, nature stuff, less healing, more damaging spells, while the priest is more like buffing spells, supporting healing, but also has a few pretty nice and decent damage skills or spells. Rogue, the obvious thing. Yeah, mechanics, by the way, so mechanics is for traps, also lying traps yourself. So whenever you find a trap, you can disarm it, and then you usually keep the trap so you can use it yourself again, which is actually very nice. And sometimes I even use that one. And so you can actually bring someone forth, yeah, who attracts the attention of an enemy, for example, then you run back and lead them into your trap, yeah. And then, of course, you don't want to run into traps that could harm and kill you. So that's actually, so in my opinion, like, mechanics is maybe one of the most important skills. Also, obviously, lockpicking, opening doors and chests is always important. So you have access to game areas and also access to additional resources. Fighter, obviously the one that punches, that hits, that causes damage, or that is an excellent tank. So, some advice, if you want to have a fighter, well, you can of course tank him, so that you will find companions for everything, basically. There is one companion for each class. So you can build the party you want, yeah, so it really doesn't matter. It's really your personal taste, how you want to play the game. Then we have the wizard. Oh yeah, she's got a nice tunic there. Obviously they cast spells, and they are also pretty good, actually, with a magic long-range weapon, like a rod or a scepter, for example. And then the monk can use weapons, but is way better with the fists. I personally don't like monks so much because you can't really outfit them so much, because obviously it works with wounds. So you want to have enemies attack you and hit you and cause wounds, actually. So you need to be strong, have a high endurance, so it needs to be a tanky character as well. But you don't use any weapons, so whatever you find is irrelevant, and that takes, of course, away a lot of the fun of the game, like from the looting, right? So, like for our purposes, let's have a priest maybe. So we can heal and punch someone with our mace. Then we get to choose. And by the way, like with the druid, for example, oh no, yeah, there you can spirit shift into form, for example, while the priest chooses an entity, his god, his or her god, that also comes with a favored and disfavored disposition, so that really affects your playing style. So if you want to be passionate, yeah, and maybe like passionate and cool, obviously, then Berath is not the right god for you. Well, if you want to play like a psychopath, yeah, deceptive and cruel, then Skane is probably your right god. Yeah. So Eothas does have some problems because this god has been killed by the Godhammer. And maybe there I talk a little bit about the background. So the thing is, the game is about souls, right? And what happens with souls. And during the last 10 years, no child with a soul has been born. So there are only hollow-born childs. And so far, it's maybe interesting. So benevolent and honest, this god sounds good for me, personally. Let's take him. And this will be actually interesting, how people react, because like the Eothasians, they are being hunted, basically. And we will find a character pretty early that is actually believing in Eothas. So it's very interesting, this game, also in the way of the character. So the narrative is very nice. And the characters have quite some depth to them. So here we see with the star what is the most important when it comes to the attributes for this class. We can see the spells we start with. This is like the level 1 spells. It goes to level 8. And you can, there's a level cap in the game. So with the expansion White March, you, excuse me, you can get up to level 16. But there's way more experience, actually. So if you are just remotely completionist, then I'm not sure there are thousands more. So I think I could have had maybe even 2 levels more or something. That was actually a little bit disappointing. But I'm getting to that one later. So might is important, especially for a spellcaster and someone like her, because it's increasing, and that's why the the star is the brightest. Highly recommended for priest. It says, because we are increasing our healing, as we can see here, right? And fortitude, fortitude together with reflex, like this one here, and will are the 3 defenses that we have. And deflection, of course. Deflection is like the physical defense that you increase with wearing thicker armor and having a better and bigger shield, for example. There are some other items that increase it. So let's have maybe 14. So we are a stocky dwarf. So we want to be a little bit tanky there. Like, let's do like this, but we don't need, but action speed. So I think like action speed is also important. Yeah. Because otherwise you're just very slow. Yeah. So she will never be a really good damage dealer, actually. So she also doesn't need so much perception. However, interrupt is also rather important, and, well, her problem could be that if there's someone that is attacking her very quickly, like a dual-wield guy, that has also a high interrupt, so then he's just stabbing her all the time and interrupting her, and she can't do anything, basically, not even attack. Yeah, so that's very dangerous, actually. But let's build her like this, so she will be our tank. However, we need intellect as well, and as you can see, this is also very important, especially for your priest. So you have a very high range for your spells, so your party will be affected by your healing spells, and the duration is also increasing with intellect. So the longer you go, the longer you have the duration, obviously, the longer your guys, your party members are actually benefiting from spells. Yeah, like Armor of Faith, for example, an additional damage reduction here, right? So let's have intellect 16 even. So, and resolve for her is also important, as she is a damage receiver, and she wants to have concentration as well. So I, for example, for my main game, I built this Cypher Elf, and I min-maxed it a little bit, so I reduced the resolve significantly to the minimum, because I also wanted to play it like there's something happening, yeah, so we are sick, but we can also not really concentrate. That was my thinking, because something is happening to us, right? But here, she has a stronger will, and let's have 13 points on resolve. So, right? So like this. So, and then we have the culture, which also gives us one more point. Yeah, and I think like here living lands and so on, right, that went. So my cipher was supposed to be very perceptive. But she can have more resolve, I think, right? So she's going to be a tanky priest. So then we have another background, which gives us some more bonus for the skills here. Hunter, laborer, as we can see, athletics and mechanics. So for her, I think it's important to have athletics, so she can regain endurance during the battle. Yeah, she wasn't a slave, of course. Or maybe a slave who found her faith, right? So, dissident, stealth, laborer. Let's have a laborer. Athletics. Oh, well. And, well, mechanics is pretty important, as I said, so let's have her with mechanics as well, or a clergyman. Yeah. Let's have laborer, just for the beginning. So, and then we can see there are quite a number of portraits. I'm just clicking through very quickly. Women, more or less beautiful, men, more or less handsome. Yeah, some godlike, as we can see here. And I think like the first one. Well, do we have a red-haired dwarf? Is there someone with red hair? Yeah, let's have her. So, right? More or less. So, and then let's have the similar hair, so it's not so irritating. Oh, that's nice. I like that one. Okay, it could be that there's actually not really... Is there nothing? Oh, no. Oh, we don't have a hair that fits our portrait. Well, okay. Then let's have this one here. There, yeah. We just found this golden thingy here. So let's do it like this.
I'm here.
I shall lead us. Ha!
Easy now.
Yeah? I've got this. Bring them down.
Keeping an eye out.
I'm here. I'm flattered.
And well,
Being
this
quiet.
we need to take something that we
Watch
can
and learn.
listen to
Show them how it's done!
I'll take a peek.
during the whole game, right?
Yeah. I'll lead the way. Yeah!
I'll take a peek. Yeah?
So she sounds fun, isn't she? So let's call her Hardball, right? That's her call sign. We don't really know her real name. So, and now we already know quite a lot about the game. And this is where it begins. Adra. That is Adra, these greenish stones. Oh, the caravan master Odema. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods toward a looming black mass on the
Whole
hillside.
area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who would be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to us, frowning as he looks us over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards, unless you don't drink water, course, which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry, about the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water.
Now that's very helpful and nice of him, right?
I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
He nods in our direction. Sparfle nods and slides the one bow over his shoulder. Sparfle, that's this guy. Where would I find these
They
berries?
grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
And what are those ruins over
Nothing
there?
you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear.
So the Glanfathans, they are the tribes he mentioned before, the hut dwellers. So basically they are a little bit underdeveloped maybe. Others would call them savages, but they are holding up to a legacy, so they are actually living among these ruins. They are not trespassing there or like entering the ruins, but they are defending them, and they don't like it if people go there. However, there is a lot of stuff in these ruins that people want, and that is actually quite valuable. So obviously there are always some adventurers or grave robbers that want their piece of the cake, but they often meet their end at the axes.
Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
He adds with a wink. So, who did build the ruins? And as we can see, like with every classic role-playing game, so it is dialogue heavy. Yeah, I mean, it's our choice, of course, how much we want to learn about the world and the characters, but usually it is very, very advisable to exhaust all the dialogue options, because that way we get information and also quests.
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Yeah, so the Angwithans, they were the ones that built the ruins, and they they did some stuff there, and they had quite some technological and magical level of development. We will find out about that one later on. Well, and is it dangerous out
Not
here?
if you hurry about your business, and not if the weather holds up.
There's a concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. Oh, so something might happen soon. What kind of weather do they get out
This time
here?
of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beowick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
So some form of magical storm. Now that is pretty problematic, possibly, but also intriguing, as we are interested in magical things as well, right? And what are these huge rocks coming up out of the ground? These green ones over there.
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
Aha, so these green rocks and stones can hold souls, possibly, and there are soul butchers or actually animancers around that do some experiments. Well, let's go see
Hold
about
on.
these berries.
Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow. Oh, she's tough, apparently.
Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time. Oh, and she is maybe not the most social sort. She needs to find some spring berries. Watch that she doesn't drop dead. So now we experience something. Sometimes there is voice acting and sometimes there's not.
No promises.
Now she's cute, isn't she?
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her, you're in good hands. And I
The
pay
grumpy
too well,
one.
if anything. Off with you. Hayadin should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beowick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Sure.
Okay, so we have... So here select all or using
What you
backspace.
need?
But we can also just use one person. We can zoom in and out. And these are the Adra rocks. So they come. We can click tab button. Look at it. These tall glass green pillars appear as if they have sprouted from the earth. The flickering fire sets shadows dancing within. And pillars, right? So pillars of eternity, right? And they come out of the earth. So there's something going on with them. And they will actually have a huge role later on. But this is the thing. So we can look into the character screen, which is here, or we could just click C. Aha, a mighty fighter, meadow folk. Interesting. Constitution 14, so she will be of help. So she has athletics and lore and survival, while we have athletics, lore and mechanics. Okay. But we are not stealthy, so we can... Yeah, I'm just clicking this one here away. You can, of course, read it. I'm just clicking here. Inventory or the I button. This is what we have. Oh, there is something. Gorn's Pledge. 2 per rest. Okay, we get some endurance with this. So let's put the ring on. And she doesn't have anything except for a scale armor. And we only come with the padded armor, okay. And we have a piglet, so we can have pets. But that's basically, it's just, you know, to feel not so alone, maybe, if you would feel alone. And we can, as she, I'm clicking I, so she's actually, she's doing the 2-weapon attack now. Yeah, so like with the torch as well, but of course it provides some light as well. Clicking C for character. However, as we can see here, she's got the constant recovery skill for fighters. Fighting spirit, that's passive, requires endurance below 50, so she becomes more aggressive if someone has beaten her up already. And knockdown, that's a very nice thing. She can knock down people in combat, and she has a second wind, and that's the thing I was talking about. Once per encounter, we can regenerate endurance. Yeah, and there we, by the way, so we see she has health 250 and endurance 50, right? And we have 44 and 170, right? So there you can see the relation. So usually if someone knocks us over, we are just unconscious. But there are abilities that are actually doing raw damage that is directly reducing our health. Yeah. So, and here,
Hey there.
we ourselves, we do have these spells here. The Barbs of Condemnation are actually very good, in my opinion. Because they cause damage and they reduce the defenses. And I used that one actually even in the late game very often.
Yeah?
So, there we go. Clicking tab button to light up everything. And by the way, we have the formation here. Right click on this one. And actually, we want her to be like in the front, right? And we are going to flank around. So this is our formation. Right? So like this. She goes first. Ah, yeah. And if we had a lockpick, so the mechanics are like this. There's no minigame or anything. Either you have the level in lockpicking, like in mechanics, or you don't. Here we see this is difficulty 1. So we would need 1 lockpick, but we don't have any. So we can't open it. Also, it would probably not be such a good idea with all the people around to start stealing stuff, right? So here we go. And clicking J for journal. This is where we have the quest, so we don't have any tasks or quests yet. Movement respite. We need some spring berries, so we actually make it through the night.
Hey there.
Going here, okay, there's the horses. So as we can see, the fog of war shows what we can see or not see. There's always some stuff to collect. There's something here. The fallen tree doesn't budge. Sap oozes from the jagged wound
Not
in
looking
its
forward
trunk.
to trying to lift that thing tomorrow.
Okay, well. It is a bit suspicious, isn't it? Is there anything here? By the way, I'm clicking the tab button all the time to light up anything that we see, so we mess up the ground a little bit here.
Anyone need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
Oh, Heoden. So let's talk with him. Yeah. Lots of people are neutral or friendly, and then we can interact. We see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his
Brought
tunic.
a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
Well, that is inconvenient, isn't it? He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the
Say,
road.
is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Well, maybe you might want to introduce
I'm a
yourself
trader,
first.
originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
If you think these caravanners are prickly, watch out for those axe-wielders Odema mentioned. He laughs. Oh, that's excellent advice indeed. Oh, and we got some reputation by that. Okay.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
By choosing that answer, we got some form of information. Let's look at it. Clicking C for character. Well, okay, no, we don't have any yet. Okay.
Something else
but
you
it
need?
Depends, right? So.
Looks like we're settled for the night.
Well, tell us about the Adir Empire.
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include Raed Ceres and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire. A fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
Gives us a lopsided grin and nods at the other scattered caravanners. Well, let's see what you've got. So he's got some stuff. And then we can trade. So we already have a mace and a shield. And maybe we should get some better armor. But it's pretty expensive for us now that we only have 100 copper pieces. CP copper pieces. He does have lockpicks now. Well, maybe we just move on for the moment. And oh, what's this? Oh, we can just take something maybe if no one's looking. Scouting. Moving toward a character accelerates how quickly they will detect us. So no one sees us.
They'll never know I'm here.
Oh well, everybody sees us.
Shh.
And even behind here, everybody sees us. Okay, well. But there is no icon that we steal something, so we can do it. Let's just take this thing. So, and then... where is it? Ah, here. This is our stash. So it went directly to the stash because I I selected the chest here, the stash. So, and the stash will fill up significantly in time. Believe me. So. Just to get things going, I'm not going to talk with everybody here. Oh, we've got this strange illness. Yeah. And exploration is key. There is Sparfle, okay. That's Sparfle. Sparfle, you're standing there under a lantern.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
So he's the very motivated sort.
There's a grove nearby. Ought to have what you're looking for.
Okay, but these guys seem to know the road, or the area around. There's something here. Is it what we are looking for? No, at Admit the word. Let's have a look. So the map is rather small, actually. Let's look around. This path winds through a narrow canyon back the way we came.
Shouldn't stray too far.
Grooves in the road mark the passage of hundreds of caravans. Ah, yeah. So this
Let's
is a
check by those
well-traveled road.
outcroppings.
Oh, there is something. Oh. Okay, now combat starts. Combat is something
Check by
that
those
happens often.
The outcroppings.
So, we need to use pause often to give our orders, so she can punch. And it's just one wolf. So let's flank it.
What you need?
Yeah. So let's open up this one here a little bit further. Here, combat. And there we go. So, Kaliska grazes the young wolf. So she didn't hit him, but she also didn't miss him, but just grazed him. So, let's go around, and now we do see something. If it's more like at least a 90-degree angle here, I think, can attack. And now he's got flanked, as we can see here left in the corner, right? In the upper corner. But the young wolf is actually attacking us because he can actually hurt us easier. He grazes us for 0.6 pierce damage. Well, would you be so kind, Kaliska, and punch him to the ground, right? Nah? There you go. Come on, beat him up. Yeah, there you go. He's got a crit. Alright. So, let's get his wolf skin. Wolf hide worth 5 CP. Let's put it directly into the stash. Okay, that's just some dead cattle.
This is it.
Ah yeah, Springberry. As we receive quests, our journal will update with relevant information. If ever gets stuck, open it. Yeah, blah blah blah. So, Odema says you're a working woman. Ah yeah. So depending on what we chose, like our background, our working class and stuff, there are often special dialogue options. Hard work at that. I was a blacksmith. Yeah. Yeah? How is it you happen to come here? My master was a jealous person. He saw to it that as soon as I finished my apprenticeship, I would never be able to compete against him. I know what that feels like. You really can't trust anyone, can you? Kaliska breathes in her surroundings. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Redrick's offer makes a girl think. I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of the lot. I hadn't given it much thought. Just checking out the area. No harm in that. Might as well see the place first. So you must have some other plan in mind for coming this way. Well... probably the same things I did before. Praying and smithing. Just the scenery will be new then. Sometimes that's all that's needed. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odemas will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. Well, why are you here? Kaliska sighs unevenly. Her eyes search the ground at her feet. My sister moved out here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried. But that's how she always is. This time, though, she asked me to come out. And that's got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages. Been doing good guide work in Ichamitl. But I'd do anything for her. She's a much better woman than me, so I'm here and we'll see. Ichamitl is another part of the world, obviously. And what I like, I mean, you don't realize it here in the beginning, but all these names and all these areas will return quite often, also with the companion characters you find. So there's someone actually, yeah, close there, like from that cultural area at least. So Odema I've worked with before. He doesn't usually drive a route this way, but he's doing it for me. And what can you tell me about Durwood? I'm not much for history, but from what I know, it used to be part of the Adia Empire. Broke off after a war some years back. The locals here are feisty and that's how they like it. I've been out of touch, but I've been hearing weird kinds of things about lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. Been going on for years now, but somehow it's getting worse. That's what I also already mentioned. I mean, people know about that, right? That's why there are also some refugees leaving the Durwood. And that is actually the Hollowborn crisis. So that means babies are born without souls. But we'll find out more about that. Yeah, I'm just telling you now. That's very mild spoiler, I think, but just to understand it better. So, and this, like, the whole cycle of souls, that's what this game is about. Yeah, and that's very interesting, very, very philosophical, very interesting and nice in my opinion. And definitely one of the strong sides of this game. So tell me about yourself. I've got simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I find work that lets me live that way. My family wanders too. We started in Durwood, but my parents ended up in the Living Lands. I've got a brother in Ruatai and another in Adir. My sister in Gilded Vale, she's the only real homebody. Well, okay, let's get back to camp then. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfle's getting you water anytime soon. He does what he feels like when he feels like it. We should check up on him first, slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get you your water. Okay, that's good to know. And then here we can click here for the update on the quests. Yeah. Ah, there's something else. And by the way, so if we look into our inventory again, we do have stuff. Like this is just a regular padded armor. But we can enchant everything anytime. And for that we do need ingredients. And that's why it's always interesting and smart to collect stuff. Now we already have this one here for superb. Yeah, I mean you can collect a lot of stuff. However, an Adra dragon scale should be pretty hard to come by, right? So, and there is different stuff. So attribute bonuses. Yeah. And proving. Oh yeah, and sorry, I forgot about the shock damage. So that's the other one. So here we see the different types of damage that we can receive. Slash, pierce, and crush obviously is like the regular weapon damage, depending on the type of weapon. Then we've got burn, fire damage, corrode, so like acid, freeze cold damage, and shock damage from electricity lightning, right? So there we go.
Sure.
Then we go through here. Oh yeah, there is something. There is water, excellent, okay. Yeah, but we needed to find the guy, right? So he was there at the lantern. Let's go there. No, he's gone. Excellent. Now we need to look for the guy. Is he maybe at the river? Oh, there is a little bridge here. Okay, that's interesting. There are two bridges. Okay. Oh, there's a deer. But there's nothing else here. Okay. If I'm looking into the character screen... So the thing is, we want to have someone with high perception. That's why in my real game I actually made this cipher like with the high perception and more thief-like, rogue-like person. Because there are of course hidden things. She's got perception 12. And it depends on your perception and mechanic skill. If you actually find something, like hidden things. Oh, there's someone. Travelers maybe, or looters, or bandits. Bad sign anyway you figure it. The corpse is cold to the touch and the ripe smell wafts from it in putrid waves. A dark crusted blood stain besmirches its simple linen clothing. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, lockpicks and a leather armor. Okay, interesting. Let's take that one ourselves. Looking here. I don't know why she got this one now. So, this is better. We can... Oh, here. Like this, we can compare it. So we do have the padded armor. The thing is, the thicker your armor, the lower your speed to do something. So this is like the dexterity-based action speed, right? So, but as we are a tank, a rather tanky person, it's more important to receive less damage. And here actually... And of course you always have to think about it. So like the weak spot with the padded armor is burn and corrode damage. So like our general damage reduction is 4. It defends better against crush and pierce. And here the leather armor is better against slash damage, but worse against corrode damage. But for us it's actually all in all I think a good deal to put that one on, right? Just close your eyes. There we go. Right? That's how we look without armor. And there we go.
Hey there.
There is no weight limit that we can carry around. You will see later how much stuff we can actually get. And obviously, like, it's wise to sell the stuff you don't need for money. So let's have a little look. We are adventurers. Maybe let's look for the
went
guy.
hunting. At
Oh.
least you left the water skins. Come on.
Oh, there's the lantern over there. Okay. And here we have the scripted event. That's also a frequent thing in the game, and this is where certain abilities have a higher importance. And like, you also want to have the athletic skills at some level, because otherwise you can injure yourself, like spraying your ankle or something pretty often if you jump around or climb around. So we crouch at the riverbank and dip our water skin into the cool water while Kaliska waits nearby, keeping watch. As we rise, we notice her look up sharply towards the tree line. Oh, there's someone. Out of the trees emerges Sparfle, one of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. Oh, he's breathing. He no longer carries his bow, and there is a strangeness to his gait, his stride wobbly as he moves toward us with labored breath.
Sparfle, are you alright?
Uh-oh. Sparfle's toe catches on a rock and he collapses forward in a heap. The feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders. Oh my goodness, like an enemy flag. I like this one here. So the game also sports pretty good writing oftentimes. Oh, and there is someone. Someone coming?
Ambush!
Oh, ambush. Oh, where did they come from? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, you... Well, maybe we bunch up on this guy first. So, you knock him to the ground, and we go here. We could actually do the Armor of Faith for a damage reduction, 39 seconds. But let's try to flank the guy first. So, now you see here like so. And like this, right? Ah, yeah, and by the way, so we can also use half speed and double speed. And as we can see here, Kaliska, for 11 slash damage, you didn't knock him to the ground. She lost the order because I changed the movement. Very good. And now, yeah, let's beat him up. He's near death already. Prone for 2.3 seconds, right? So there you can see he's also easier to hit, of course. And flanking someone. Let's have a look here. So there are the Cyclopedia, combat mechanics. So there's a lot of stuff. So the bestiary will fill up afflictions, everything we can see here, right? So there's lots and lots of stuff. Full game. Yeah, and here passive deities, equipment, lore. So, oh, there's actually, was there prone? There's prone here. So prone characters can't take action. Dexterity is reduced by 2. Reflex and deflections are reduced by 10. So deflection is reduced by 10. Which increases our chance to score a normal hit and even a crit. So let's beat the guy up. There you go. And now we're just running around. Come on. Like so. Going around. Oh, did you see the arrow? Let's knock him to the ground again. And this guy being a bow shooter, a bowyer. There you go. And now we do something else. So we do have this one here, the Holy Radiance, that we can use once per encounter, as you can read over there. While the Second Wind is also once per encounter. And we lost some endurance here. So this filled, our portrait filled up reddish. And we can see we lost 8 points, right? And our health has been reduced by 8 points, actually. That might have been from a hit before, right? So the endurance costs, they are always being reduced from the health as well. But let's use this one here, the Radiance, because the Radiance is also causing burn damage. This is like our priest. Oh, already dead. And as we can see here, so we are rather slow, unfortunately. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's loot the guys. This is a hide armor. Our stuff is better. However, there is a hunting bow here. So let's get this one.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, what does he have? Just some money. So actually it's also pretty good to start out with the ranged attack. So that's what I personally like. That's one tip.
What you need?
You know, if you sneak up to
Hey
someone,
there.
if you see them, then you can shoot them once and then you switch to melee weapons while they run up to you, right? Or you run up. Oh, there we go. So there's something here. Oh, it's a beer. Okay. That's a good thing.
Hey there.
Okay. Do we find anything else? Okay. Another tip here, a little spoiler. I think I remember that actually if you have the sufficient perception, then you can find something else here in the tent, I think. The footprints around the campfire are indistinct and may have been here for days or longer. Okay, so these guys have been waiting here and camping out. Let's have a look. Can we go here? Is there anything here? No. Nothing else to be found. Okay, or at least not for us, right? So our poor guy, the not so reliable guy, is dead, which is a bit unfortunate for him. So let's have a look here. So the thing is, it's a CRPG, so that nothing is happening if you don't go somewhere, right? Oh, what's that? Okay, that's interesting. So some kind of insect hive or something. Very interesting. So let's go around here. And then basically it also means, unfortunately, that there is, no life on their own. Oh, there are these guys. Okay. So there we go. And now you shoot him. You shoot him. And we go around like so. And maybe actually... Oh, there are 3. Okay, now it's time to do something. So we do have the blessing, for example. Accuracy and damage increase for 26. But let's maybe rather... What's this? Holy meditation. Yeah, we don't need concentration. Let's have the armor of faith then. 40 seconds. That is helpful. Let's do this one here. Very good. You change your weapons like so. She's still in the circle, right? Very good. There we go.
Hey there.
Let's go around. And flank the guy. Oh, and now they pushed her to the ground. Okay. So, but we'll punch the guy with our mace. Now what he can do, we can do as well. There you go. So, pushing pause button is essential, right? So... There you go. Taking like this. Now he's flanked. Yeah, right. Good. Pushing him to the ground as well. And here we see all the information here, by the way, what happened, right? So he received crush damage, but Kaliska again only grazed him, but it's fine. So, oh, but if she hits, there's a real punch there. Distract him a bit. And now we use this one here, because then we can see the burn damage, right? So there we go. What did they do? Holy Radiance. No, I think, or maybe it's actually... It's against, oh sorry, it's against vessels only, but we can upgrade it later on, right? So, and by the way, let's have a short look. Ah yeah, experience 184. Yeah, mess him up. So, and our high deflection also means that he is... Oh no, that's the damage resistance, okay. Uh-oh. Oh, that doesn't look good here. That doesn't look good at all, but let's loot the guys first. Let's get that stuff.
Sure.
Do they have anything that we can use? Yeah. Get this one here. So the hatchet. The hatchet may be better than our mace. Well, it depends what you want. There's more deflection. Comes with the deflection bonus, actually. So, and so far, and the shield comes with way higher deflection, but with lower accuracy. Well, 816. Well, we could use this one here as a second weapon, because we don't need any light right now. And this way, as we can see here, the deflection 38 is increased. So let's have her fighting with 2 weapons again. And we could also drink the beer, which gives us 1 damage reduction for 300 seconds. So, I mean, I think we don't really need it. But maybe we... Yeah, let's just use it. So, she will do this one here. We can have this hunting bow. Do like this. Everybody gets a shot. And now we are sneaking up on them.
Sure.
If we can sneak up on someone, right? Oh no. So the guy has been killed. There's someone. So this is how it works. The stealth actually only means that we can get closer to someone. Oh yeah, so there is someone, okay. Oh! Oh, that's our caravan keeper, okay. And the thing is, I'll demonstrate it, so let's go like this. We can't really make an ambush, so, but let's try it. So she comes out of hiding, going there like so. Aha, Glanfathan leader. All around us lie the massacred remains of the other travelers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy. Kaliska puts the back of her left hand to her mouth as if to ward away some poisonous vapor. A handful of dark figures stands above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. One of them, towering and severe, with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man we recognize as Heoden, the last of our caravan left standing. Lay down your arms, trespassers. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. Murder us, you will pay for each life. So, we could, or we can actually use different abilities here. For example, we do have the lore. It always is only our main hero, by the way. So, that you have to know when building your character. The other characters don't matter in that regard, unlike for the dialogue, right? But in the scripted events, you can often also choose who should do something. So, and then you want someone with very, very high athletics, of course, and like someone for everything, just in case. So, the ruin has not been sullied by our hands, men of Aergelanfath. Your words carry no weight when I have seen the truth with my own eyes. Blood must be paid for this intrusion. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them, they mean to kill us all. Oh, we are pretty mighty. Only a fool attacks a weak enemy while a stronger one yet lives. Oh no, it's Heoden. Oh, it's the trader. That was the trader. It's not our caravan guy. Like the caravan leader. Or we are smart enough to say, you can kill him, but you might as well be killing yourself. Or we could rush the man before he can react. But yeah, the question is, of course, he might kill him now. Or we show that we are even smarter still. Judging by the string of animal teeth around your neck, I am guessing you are worshippers of Galawain. If Galawain told you to stop protecting the ruins, would you? The man frowns and motions as if to swing his axe. Heoden winces, but the blow never comes. Instead, the man cocks his head and shrieks, "Well, of course, but he would not. It is by the command of all the gods that we accept this charge." Well, how do you know? Because it's consistent with their beliefs, or because it's what you were told? The man glares. "It has always been known to my people." I see, and what of Galawain's edict that weakness and age must be purged by youth and strength? You think Galawain would want some moldy, crumbling stones to survive long after their builders have turned to dust? The man's nostrils flare as he fumes. He would not. He told us otherwise." Well, I'm sure he did. Just not you personally, right? But why should that stop you from killing innocents? So we are really doing the smart-ass thing here, right? Distracted, the man grip falters on his axe handle and he nearly fumbles it, affording Heoden the moment he needs to dodge out of this swing, which comes too late. Howling with rage, the man charges us instead. Ooh. Okay, well, you should, Heoden. Who are you actually? Now we have another party member. That is great. Let's have a look at him. He's a rogue. Oh. Oh, interesting. A trader who's actually a rogue, huh? And he's good at mechanics. So actually we want to try our utmost to keep him alive now. So let's run away. We need our fighter. Yeah, we shoot the guy. First we shoot the guy. And then he needs to run. So we can use our spell, right? Although we already... Oh yeah, and we have one left, by the way. So we can choose any spell we want as a priest, but we have only a limited number. So like one more, and I think we are going for the Armor of Faith again. So, yep, very good. We shot. Excellent. So you go behind the lady. You hide behind the lady. She's shot. Changing to the weapons, like this. We already also shot, going like so, but we are doing this one now, like so. And she's hiding behind the lady. Good. Now you just stay still, please. Oh, and by the way, so we do have an AI script. But let's do it like this right now. I want to have the full control. And for ourselves as well. So, you just hide behind the lady. You stand there.
Help!
Oh, why did you stand still? Oh, come on. Why did that happen? Well, actually the thing is, the pathfinding is really bad sometimes. There we go. And now he even disengaged for some reason. Well, and that, but on the other hand, that was a pretty nice demonstration what actually happens. If someone is engaged, so you actually don't want to get out of engagement, because otherwise they get a free attack. And that can be pretty hurtful. So now you attack this guy. Oh, they still go for him, huh? Well then, let's attack him together. That's good. I'm hitting the pause button. Are we ever going to cast our spell? Yeah, everybody's still in there, right? There we go. I'm hitting pause again, so now we are actually going for this guy. Or maybe actually we are running around. Oh, she can't run around there, okay. Well then, let's go here and attack this guy like so. He's under pressure. Here, Kaliska can do this one here. Let's put it on him. Oh no. Oh yeah, very good. That was good timing. But let's kill this guy off. Come on. Oh yeah, he's dead. Okay, that's good. So you go for this one. You attack him while he's on the ground. Oh yeah, very good. And now everybody punches up this guy. And we could use this one here. Endurance. It's only endurance, unfortunately. Yeah, but let's do it for everybody. So like this. And then let's beat him up further, right? The Glenfathan leader. Okay, we won. We won the battle. Excellent. Our enemy lies supine on the ground, unable to rise. His companions now silent among the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, fitful gasps. He looks not at us, but at the sky above us. Forgive us! Barely audible beneath his choked sighs, a whisper of wind stirs the air. At this, the man's eyes roll back as he closes them. Good, good, the gods are just. A queer smile crosses his face. I am ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. We can feel it begin to seep beneath our skin, and where it pierces us, it feels as though it is rending us apart from within. Seated against the wagon wheel amid the howling maelstrom, slashes across chest and bowel, Odima's body stirs. Ah yeah, this is our caravan master. And with great effort he raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open, he looks directly at us.
Get inside! Run!
Oh, it's the Biawak. We don't have time to loot anybody, huh? Oh my goodness. All the loot! What with the loot? And we didn't even get to pick the chest. Straining against the gale that threatens to pull us off of our feet with every step, we set our hands in the worn folds of weathered rock and set about pulling ourselves up the precipice. The last burst of energy before our arms give out, we swing ourselves up onto the ledge. Heoden trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rock, one of the fallen attackers who had been feigning death lunges for Heoden and topples him onto the rocky ground. Oh my goodness. Restrained, Heoden lashes out against his fatigued assailant, but struggles to break his hold. Oh my goodness. They are close to us, despite the wind. From our position, if we were to throw our weapon at the attacker, we would have a good chance at hitting our mark. And if we were dexterous, we could do something else, maybe shoot the guy. Oh my goodness. We could throw our mace. Well, we have a spare hatchet, right? Yeah, let's try it. So, I mean, we don't have a choice. Basically, if we want to save his life, throw our weapon at the attacker. Our aim is true. And the hit jars Heoden loose. Lurching to his feet, Heoden clambers up the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. Oh. But diving out onto the hard rock, we manage to catch hold of it. Securing his other hand, we pull with waning strength, and it feels as though our arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Heoden to set his feet and join us on the trembling ledge. There is a deep resonance to the swelling wind now. We feel it in the rocks beneath our feet and inside the cavity of our own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from our bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before us, loosening connections, unsettling balances. As we dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight. Oh my goodness. And now we are inside the ruin, but we managed to save the guy. I'm pretty glad.
A Bewick. Had to be.
Be alive.
Yeah, then we are lucky to be alive indeed.
We're the only ones.
Here. There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside.
Okay, well, but we showed that we are a true hero, right? And by the way, so this quest is complete. Now we have another one. The Ruins of Sealand Delis and the Gilded Vale. And this is like our party here right now, right? Looking into them. So the experience we gain is always divided up between the guys we have, right? So there is, of course, you know, maybe a balance.
Yeah?
If you want, you can play the game alone with just your base character, by the way. After something that will happen soon. And then, of course, you get more experience, which is actually an advantage. However, there's so much experience in the game. Yeah, it's not necessary in my opinion, but on very high levels of difficulty, and there are also achievements to be unlocked. Or the cave, huh? Then you need to do it alone, like solo style. The lower level of the ruins has been blocked off by fallen rubble. Okay, so this is where we go. And by the way, our weapon, is it gone now? Yes, it is. Okay, well then let's have the hatchet. Our good old trusty mace. Oh, by the way, is this a better shield? No, this is also a medium shield. Yeah, we keep our own shield. And the guy, he has a leather armor. Okay, so you can keep his leather armor as well. Oh, by the way, sorry. And again, he does have another dagger. He wants, that's, so if someone uses, by the way, just one weapon, he gets a bonus, one-handed, to accuracy, right? But he can keep that, so we take the dagger. Is the dagger better? So let's compare it. Ah yeah, so it's more accurate. But I think we don't have so much problems with accuracy actually, so let's go.
Sure.
And so this is basically our first dungeon.
That should be far enough. But what now?
Way out. Storm has to die sometime.
And what happened out there? Windstorm of a kind they only get in Air Glenfath. Not too many people live through them, so it's hard to know what's true. The Glenfathan word is Biawak. To them it's the gods' way of reaping the souls of the land that couldn't find their own way out, but they'll take a living soul as soon as a dead one. Still got yours. Okay, so I'm not going to exhaust all the options now. I just want to show a little bit what's happening here. Also, like, what makes us a hero. It will soon happen. Let's get going.
Yeah?
So, there is something.
Look at the tiles. What are those symbols?
Oh, there's a riddle, right? And what's here? There's more
Just
stuff.
like the tiles.
What's that? Use your torch to light the brazier. Flames kindle swiftly in the brazier, winding their way upwards. Aha, okay.
Hey there.
Interesting, very interesting. Let's kindle all of them. Did anything change? Oh yeah, something changed here. So this is where we probably can go. Right. But let's be very careful there. Or maybe there is something. Well, let's try it. You are the rogue, right? You can go alone. Also, you have higher perception, right? Yeah, you are pretty perceptive. So if there's anything...
Do you feel that? You'll never know. There's a draft coming through that wall.
Oh yeah, we might have...
I don't hear any sign of that storm either. Found something.
Here, try to... Ah yeah, there we go. So we disarmed the trap. And did we get it? I think... Oh no, we didn't get it. Okay, well, anyway. So I'm not doing it. All of it. Ah well, okay, so it goes further, so...
Hey there.
Let's go around, like so, like here and there.
Hey there.
There we go. Oh, there's something. A spear spiderling, okay. And now... we change to our ranged weapons and we are sneaking
I'll take a peek.
up. And now let's try something. I want to try something. So there we go. So you can see here, if we go close to an enemy, they start to detect us, right? With the yellow circle. So let's shoot the guy. Right now we are still in stealth. And now he saw us because the attack came in, right? And it turns red. Let's change this one here. And now they are focusing on Kaliska. So you guys, you come from here, and now you also change your weapon around like so.
I'll teach you a lesson.
And he comes from there, and nice. Heodan only grazes him well. That's a bit sad. He is a rogue, so he does get the sneak attack. Yeah, if someone is in an unfortunate situation, like for example hobbled or something. So let's push this spider to the ground. Very good. Oh yeah, and already dead. Okay, well, and we couldn't demonstrate that one, but it doesn't matter. There we go. Spider's gone.
Sure.
That's the classic thing, of course, right? So spiders or rats. There's another one. Oh, there's a big one. Okay, well, we maybe we got a little bit too cocky there. Let's come around like so. And let's kill the little one first.
How can I help?
Go around. You smash this one to the ground. And you flank that one. Very good. And now Heodan hits with the sneak attack, right? There we go. And dead pretty quickly.
Sure.
So there we go. There we get outside. I'm just ignoring this dungeon now. But of course, what you always want to do... Oh, what is this? Where are we? What is there? What you always want to do is, of course, to loot a place to the bone so you get everything, right? So, oh, what is that? A weird contraption. Let's go there.
Sure.
Oh, something happens. An older robed man, 4 figures, stand before an otherworldly apparatus, an ancient structure of chiseled Adra and metallic veins. So like the Adra, this green rock, right? That is supposed to have something to do with souls. And someone built something with it, with metallic veins, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body, colorless as stone or ash. The other figures gaze upon it in what might be contemplation. From our vantage point, we are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out among them. A thick grey beard frames a face otherwise hidden beneath a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a runic language unlike anything we have ever seen, and he wears a strange black headdress with 2 protrusions that jut out like the wings of some malevolent creature.
Oathbinder bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was.
Oh, I don't know what's going on with this with the voice
Let
there.
his life by the key
But well,
be his
that is something we
Let his
also
death by the
see
key.
here. It's part of this review, unfortunately, so I'm
May he
just
walk
talking
the
now
world
because
ever
it
free
sounds
of the
horrible.
crushing weight of the
Because the game is unfortunately still not bug-free. But yeah, it's relatively okay. Yeah, so I mean, there's nothing really quest-breaking or anything, at least not that I remember. So, he wants to do something with the soul. The man passes his gaze over the others standing around him. Your brother has done his part, and you have seen the power of his contribution. I will accept no further hesitation from the rest of you. He looks each in the eye and turns, so... It appears they didn't... these guys here... They don't want to be turned to ash, huh? That's probably understandable. And the guy continues, in the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth and be assured of the great worth of your life's curse. Oh, he's doing something with this machine. What is that? That contraption, what does it do? Oh my goodness, something is happening with the people there. And it appears they are in pain. It appears something is happening that might not be good. For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet and the air still. Then, all at once, it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods our vision and we are knocked to the ground. Our head snaps back as we land and pain wells into the back of our skull, washing our last thoughts away into the black unconscious void. Are we dying? We open our eyes to a different place, another time. We stand in a circular room, grand and domed. Its walls lined with Adra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweathered. At the far end, a great pillar of Adra pierces the floor from below, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depths. Encircling the pillar is an apparatus much like the one we have just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Our thoughts are ours and not ours, and they seem to exist before we think them, and they are all questions, pressing questions, troubling questions, questions that must be answered, or... At the base of the pillar now, we see a man with a thick grey beard and ceremonial robe, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. We know this man. We are walking towards him, now at a pace that is hurried while trying not to appear so. We have something we want to ask him, one question above all, and the question spins madly in our mind. What is that? Are we remembering something? Maybe a former life or something? Old memories. Oh, what happened? What happened? We are waking up. We awaken to find our malaise has broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible at the edge of our hearing, like a ringing in our ears that does not subside. Movement flits through our periphery, but when we turn to look, we can see no sign of whatever it was. We find our gaze regularly darting this way and that, an involuntary paranoid tic. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures at the machine stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. Heodon and Kaliska lie bloody on the uneven cobbles, their bodies twisted unnaturally in death. We are alone and far from help. Gilded Veil may be our best hope of receiving treatment before things get worse. Oh my goodness. And we are fatigued. Oh my goodness, our companions are dead. It is horrible. And we hear strange whispers. And we got a level there as well, but we can loot them. So let's do that. And here we get, that's the last thing that we look at. So there is this strange entrapment there. So let's have a look at the level. This is where we go. So actually we are actually not increasing our abilities, like the strength and stuff, as far as I remember. If so, then just very few points, but I think we don't actually. But we increase the skills here. So let's increase. And it always gets more expensive the more we get, right? So let's have this one. Now that we are alone, let's have a little bit of mechanics as well. Athletics and maybe one, in my opinion, like here you can see on the right side what we get. In my opinion, actually, unless you make a character that is specialized on something, it's probably not worth it to go with you, especially with your main character into survival beyond this first point, maybe to get this damage reduction. It's just 1 point, yeah. So it's probably not worth it. But let's have a little bit of stealth as well, so we have a little bit more time. Yeah, that's my tip. Yeah, but of course, I mean, you can get this stuff here, accuracy bonus or something, but it's, in my opinion, it's not worth it in comparison to athletics and mechanics. Yeah. But of course it's a matter of taste. So, and then there are talents. So this is there. Later on, some more come up. Every class has some unique talents that we can use. Here, these ones here, Apprentice Sneak Attack. They emulate the other classes' special abilities, like for example the Charm, or like the Gallant's Focus especially. Like this one here is from the Paladin. So you have an aura. And that's actually nice to have on one character, one supportive character, because everybody gets a little bit more accuracy, right? And especially in the beginning of the game, I think that might be useful. I didn't take it, only like in the late mid-game or something with one character. And, I mean, it adds to your things. But what I find, here, this one, the Apprentice's Sneak Attack, I think everyone should have. Because you can flank them, you can push them to the ground or paralyze them, and that's actually a significant bonus. So that's my tip here. Untroubled Faith for the priest, yeah, so there is some stuff. You can change the radiance that we already used, you remember, into something so that is later on, it's damaging or dazing people, yeah. Then we have the classical weapon focus, as you can see, only for special types of weapons, yeah. So you need to make a decision. I would wait with this for a moment, but it's a matter of what you like the style, yeah. But the thing is, the different weapon types, they are not evenly distributed throughout the game, actually. And that's actually a negative thing, in my opinion. So that's like the first negative thing to say. For example, as a knight, you know, like the sword, having a sword, like that's the classic weapon, basically for anybody. But it will take quite some time before you find a really good one. So that's also a bit weird. And a bit sad, because actually, like, one of your characters would want a sword, right? But you don't get one. Or at least a really good one. Like a competitive one in comparison to the other weapons that you find for quite a while. So that's a bit sad. And that also offsets the balance of the game a little bit. So then, Marksman is a very good thing to have for any ranged character. Yeah, and then 2-weapon style we already saw. This is very significant. 20% dual wield attack, especially if you think that you are interrupting people. One-hand style. If you want to have maybe like being a fencer or something, a one-handed fencer, that could be interesting, you know, to do more damage. But I personally always find that either you go sword and shield, that's actually defensive, weapon and not sword, but weapon and shield style, or you go more offensive, either by using a two-handed weapon, then you have more weapon damage anyway, or you go 2-weapon style and have 2 weapons, yeah, and that is actually pretty significant. So then defensive, hold the line is very important for a tank, so you can hold more people engaged. And then of course you can increase your defenses. Yeah. And utility, fast runner, making you quicker, might be interesting for a shooter if you want to kite enemies. But in the end, someone from your party will always be caught, so it's dependable. Maybe for a solo run. Then, here these things, Scion of Flame, as you can see, it reduces your damage. It increases your damage reduction for the given thing, like flame, shock, corrosion, frost damage, right? And you also increase your weapon damage. So as a priest, for example, there are some fire spells, so Scion of Flame is certainly interesting. Yeah, and then quick switching, well, not sure if this is actually super important. Wound binding for more health. You don't need to rest so often. that's only for yourself. Field triage is only for someone else, not for yourself either. Yeah, so this is these two here, they are the only talents that ever affect your real health. Everything else always only affects your endurance. You only regain health by resting, either in a camp with camping supplies or at an inn. And that's all. So, let's take the... For her, let's take weapon and shield style here, so... like that, so... And, well... let's have a short look at this contraption, but otherwise this is what we can tell about the game. Oh yeah, and here suddenly we see something, right? Something has happened. And we hear something. Oh my goodness. Someone is there. We see something. We see something. Another vessel flash, that's weird. We see something. We see something that is not there. What is that? More vessel flash. Oh my goodness. We have... is it a vision? Or do we see something? What is this? This massive structure is formed of stone, adra, copper and covered in strange glyphs. The air around it vibrates with an unusual energy. So, and to find out what happened here, what happened with us and this strange sickness, that is what is the game about. And then we will find a grand scheme of things, a grand secret. And that makes this game, like from the narrative and the story, very, very nice. So let's have a look at the journal again. So we see, yeah, it starts small, but it will become quite epic and grand. So, and I personally, I needed 296 hours to complete the game, being a completionist. And this is where we can end this first part of this review. Now, I warn you, now the spoiler section is coming. But this is what it is. So, yeah, you run around, isometric style, classic RPG. This game is a milestone. In the game development, it rekindled classic role-playing games, and by the way, probably even the whole role-playing genre with it, because for quite some years there were nothing like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. And Icewind Dale. Yeah, and we have to thank them. And there were tens of thousands of Kickstarters who were actually supporting this one. And I would like to thank them at this point as well for making this game possible. But there is also a negative thing, because this is the only thing in my whole gamer life that I lost interest in the game, because possibly it became too grand, and I also didn't really like the characters so much in the beginning. Later on, like in the second half, it became better, also with the White March DLC, but yeah, that's the thing. But otherwise, I like it a lot. I find like Pathfinder, which you can also find on my channel, was a better alternative as a game, but it of course came later. But this is certainly worth looking into. So, and now... spoiler warning, I will load my late game and I will just show you my party, what I did. This is like also to honor the characters. That's Cairn, that's for my solo. Now what is it? What's going on? There we go. There I want to present my party. So, and now it's the last chance you have to switch off, but I will also give a little bit more advice for the game. So, and I think I'm not spoiling too much, but I think if you are interested in it now, then you should go. So, here we are.
Not as beautiful as the Anguithan ruins near my home, but your fortress is impressive in its own little way.
There we go. So we do get a fortress here. Clicking on M, so, and it's fully upgraded. So this is how the fortress looks. Let's have a look at the world map. There we can see how big the game actually is. So this was here the first part where this first machine we just saw was, right? So, and then everything here, that's one big map that also contains further dungeons. Yeah, like here, like all of this. This is like here the last act with Twin Elms. White Marsh, that's the DLC. It's also like all this here. Yeah, so it's really an epic game, I would consider myself. And then let's look at the journal. As you can see, I think I did all quests possible, except of course those where you have a choice, where you have to go away A or B, for example being cruel or being benevolent or something. And then of course you don't get the next evil quest if you have the next good quest, right? But this is like the content. And you can see there are also bounties, lots of bounties. So it's really a huge game. And maybe there was too much, but at the same time I wouldn't say that that something felt totally pointless or anything, and you could have easily cut it away, you know? So actually it was not so bad looking back. But in the middle of the game, I personally kind of lost interest, and I let it rot on my hard drive for several years actually, and that has never happened before. And a couple of times I tried to get back in, but it always felt that it was too much effort because it was so complicated. So let's have a look at the character. So this is my cipher, right? So this is the endgame cipher. We have perception, yeah, and as you can see, so he's really like resolve, he can't concentrate, and his will is also very bad, yeah, so he's like a person with problems. So, and the level cap of 16, yeah, I personally, looking at the map again, I hit the level cap already with level 16 basically after completing the Wide March, and then this whole thing here, or like this whole thing, the last part of the game, I didn't have any further level development, and that also, it took away a little bit of motivation actually, yeah. And then like also the stuff that you found, it was not really necessary anymore. But anyway, so this is Eda. I made him the tank. Yeah, it's not the strongest guy, but together I gave him the white crest armor. Yeah, upgraded it a bit, but also not like totally. I never upgraded anything beyond exceptional actually, because I found that the resources were probably not really worth it. I didn't even bother, it wasn't necessary, right? But on the other hand, I only played on normal difficulty in the end, because I just wanted to finish the game, and you know, I didn't need the additional challenge, because I felt that would just waste the time. I just wanted to end this game. So, but here he got this soulbound, the soulbound Dragon's Maw shield. Yeah, I gave him just this stiletto because he's quicker with it. And that way he actually gets some damage output, some decent damage output together with the shield. And just knocking people over. Yeah, using also the charge and the knockdown. Durance, the priest, is basically an off-tank. I gave him, here he's got the Magfold skull for the might. I gave him the golden scales armor. I never felt that anything else like was really worth it or better, yeah. So what he does is like buffing people, like his mastery for the spells. I usually use the Dire Blessing to increase the crit chance, and to use the Devotions of the Faithful, and that was actually mostly enough, you know, just to mess up everybody. And then I switched, so they were actually like this, the three were my core party, and then with the other guys I was switching around because I wanted to get the soul-bound weapons, like here this one, the one-eyed Molina's gold-fingered spy flinger. That thing is incredible. I wanted to get it to the last levels. And by the way, so you can see this here, this is like the point before, a point in the game of no return. Every quest is done. So it's just these two main quests, and then I think there's another main quest following up on this one, but that's it with the game basically.
Need something?
And he's the druid, and I use him like for shooting, and then a little bit of greenstone staff bashing, but actually only rarely, yeah. I gave him the Sunbeam spell, the Burst of Summer Flame spell, Nature's Balm, which I rarely used with him, and the Cowling of Worlds more, and then usually before he even used these spells off, yeah, together with the others, every battle was basically decided, usually.
Yes.
Aloth, I came to like the Nina God Shadow Flame very much, because it's also paralyzing people. So, and that's why I mastered this spell. Here the Chill Fog is also interesting, because it's blinding people, so they are less dangerous. Also good like for the second row battle, or the second row enemies. And then also blinding people further for a long time. 28 seconds. The Grieving Mother, I made her with the Unlabored Blade and the Drawn-in Spring with a 2-dagger style assassin, basically, the Executioner's Hood. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit creepy with her, but she has an incredible damage output with this, because she's super speedy with this as well, right? And I didn't even reach the last level here with the Unlabored Blade, so... but the final battle against Theos was also no problem at all. So for her, you get this Talisman of the Unconquerable rather early, and you can just keep it. In my opinion, it's the best for her. Yeah. So then, let's have a look here at the team. Otherwise,
Our paths shall part.
May Wal watch
get
your
them
step.
out of there.
You walk your path, I'll
Just-
walk mine.
Just to have a look at them. There we go. And the thing is... Yep. Oh, sorry.
Lead the
for
way.
the loud noise. So, this is Maneha the Barbarian. I gave her, so she is as quick as possible and as speedy as possible, the Robes of the Tidebringer. And especially the Siegebreaker gauntlets for the resolve. And otherwise, double X attack. Yeah, because she is, I think she had the, maybe if she didn't have it, I gave it to her, the weapon focus. Yeah, not much to say about her, otherwise. Then Kana, the Chanter, I gave Riona's breastplate, and basically he was never really in danger. I gave him 2-weapon style with the Grey Sleeper. But he was mostly, I used him like for shooting with the warbow and chanting from the second row, and then I gave him
Following your lead.
Here these, especially like the dragon. Summoning the dragon was very important, I find, and also paralyzing people with the second row spell. Those were the ones I used most often, and I felt that were most helpful. And that's it with him. Then Pellegrina, the paladin. I never used her much because I felt that she wasn't so powerful as the others. In the late game, she became way more powerful once I gave her Sanct Wydran's Redeemer and leveled that one up. But I didn't even get this one to the last level because she never died. Yeah. So that's the thing. She never needed to be revived, so I couldn't get that one. But this one was also, because it destroys vessels, it was extremely useful against, mild spoiler warning, against, in the White March, you know, the very nasty people you find in the end, right? So I'm not talking more about it. That would be too much of a spoiler, I think. But you find someone there, and then this weapon is very, very useful.
Ready, Watcher.
And then our little dwarven hunter Sagani, the arboreal dwarf, or boreal dwarf. For her, I gave the Stormcaller. Oh, and actually we didn't get it to the last level here, right? But it doesn't matter. So that one, this thing here is really powerful for her. And of course, together with the ability, Heart of the Storm, so she even gets more shock damage, right? So otherwise, I gave her these formal, these red dancing shoes for the dexterity bonus, but otherwise, yeah, nothing of too much importance otherwise. So, and then for the last characters,
Safe travels.
these guys are from the White March. The Devil of Karok, I gave the Night Shroud, and which made her very, very powerful, but just like as a one-handed weapon, and also like with the better small shield. I never liked the bigger shields too much because they reduce the accuracy. Only Ada, but he also got the soulbound medium shield here. And she also has quite a high damage output. And she got Twin Sting. And I usually made 2 shots and then sent her into the melee. I increased her breastplate because you can't change it. Pretty quickly to exceptional. And gave her also the White Forge. Yeah. But otherwise, you know, I mean, on normal difficulty it didn't really matter anyway. Yeah. Yeah, and here that's a bug. So a fair word of warning, I think. If you put Zahua back into the fortress, he loses everything. Every piece of equipment. And that shouldn't happen, of course, in a game that's been around for years. But that's also why I never used him too much. I mean, I had him in the party during the White March for a very long time, actually, because I wanted to do his companion missions as well. But he was also pretty useful, so he's very powerful. But you can't put anything on him, basically, that's of too much significance. So, and I find monks always a little bit lame, yeah, because you can't really outfit them. Or like it's not so useful to outfit them like with the others. Yeah, but it's a fun character. So you find him in a barrel of fish, because with his philosophy, it's good to make yourself as uncomfortable as possible. And he searched for a place to have a nap as uncomfortable as possible. Yeah, with the stinking fish there. So, and that's the game. This is the fortress. These are dozens and dozens of quests. 300 gaming hours sunk into the game. I'm glad it's over, but it was also a good experience. And I have to say, like, looking back, like, especially the story and the narrative and the writing, those are really the strong parts of the game.
Certainly.
But if you are really having a lot of fun with outfitting your characters and doing stuffs, you know, and crunching the numbers and stuff, I think there are better games already on the market, but this is certainly a milestone. I always felt the character development, despite all the stuff here that you can find, so it's really a lot of stuff, but at the same time, it never really, to me at least, it never felt too relevant. Yeah, not too relevant. I mean, you add up stuff, but I liked it in Pathfinder way better, for example.
At once.
Like these aspects of the game. Yeah, but that's just my opinion. So, and then the last thing, so if you want to play an elven cipher as well, so I really made this guy according to a character building guide on the internet. Yeah. Resolve to 0, so you have some more points you can spend. Intellect on 18, like right from the beginning. Perception as well. Dexterity only 9. I think that was actually a mistake, because that slows you down. Yeah, and you do have some more powerful stuff, of course, but you don't use it too often. So I think it's probably also a good thing to have as quickly a character as possible. Yeah, then of course pretty weak, but thinking that being a person of the second row, you hopefully are not being hit at all anyway. that's the thinking. But if they hit you, you are done very quickly as well. So and then mighty to have some more damage. That's the idea. And I gave him the blunderbuss, like to shoot, and that's really powerful, especially for the cipher. But I also found that the double-handed weapon style with 2 daggers that I had for the grieving mother is actually building up the focus for the spells way more quickly. Here, this is the focus. Yeah. And she actually outpaced him very much. And the main character is actually he profits from all these extra things, you know. And as we can see, like 27 perception, 21 intellect, might 21 is way better than what the grieving mother actually has. So she's only got 19 and 17 dexterity, but her action speed is 21%, and here only 9%. And she outpaced him with these 2 daggers. Significantly outpaced him, but of course for her it's more dangerous. Yeah, because she is in the front line flanking people, and they can start punching her as well. But I think like her build is actually better, in my opinion, and it's for the main character is probably also more interesting, and that's probably one of the reasons why I found the game not too interesting, like after the first third or so, and then why I stopped to play the game. But at the same time I felt, well, starting all over was also kind of a waste of time, and I personally usually don't play a game several times, especially if it's about the story, yeah, because simply you know the story already. I mean, you can play it as a very bad person, but then dumping another 300 hours into it, it's questionable, because then I have other projects that I would rather do in that time, right? But I mean, it's a matter of taste, of course, but for me personally, that was the reason, I think, and I always liked it better to go into the melee, but he was just too weak to actually do too much. Yeah, like with resolve and constitution like that, too problematic. Well, otherwise, Belt of the Buccaneer, I found that one really good. That increased his efficiency very much and his effectiveness. Yeah, and otherwise, Fortitude, the Ring of Protection, the better one. Just Gauntlets of Accuracy +2. It's just a very early thing. The Mantle of the Excavator for the Perception. Just this Footbed's Hood for the Stealth, because there's no better helmet for him, I think, that the others can't use in a better way. I kept with him the Raiment of Whale's Eyes. You already find it, like, I think early in the DLC, I think. And this one I also increased to Exceptional. I think like for the last battle I increased it indeed to Legendary, I think. Yeah. But by the way, they knocked him out in the main battle anyway. I had to revive him in the main battle, and he was the only one to go down. But the others weren't touched at all. Yeah. And then this one here, the Gathbin Family Signet for the ability area effect. Yeah, and then just because I never used the Lord's Authority, I had this other ring here. And oh yeah, by the way, and this is how the stash looks. Let's have the sale value. So you find really a lot of stuff. I sold a lot of the weapons as well. I always kept them because I hope, well, maybe there is some fight where I have to outfit people, or maybe they ask me, okay, can you provide so and so many weapons to outfit the soldiers or something, but nothing like that ever came. As you can see, yeah, and that's what we all drag around in our chest, right? So it's all a lot of stuff, lots of stuff. lots of stuff you can find and that you don't really need to use. You can, of course, but it's, yeah, in my opinion, it's just, maybe it's too much and it's not relevant. Yeah, that's of course the thing. But I mean, on highest level, if you really like it, then of course this can also be very rewarding for you if you really like to go into a game so deeply that that you try to figure out like to do something, you know, when to drink something, yeah. But I like that one with Pathfinder way better actually. Yeah, there it was maybe even more complex, but they kind of they did it differently. I'm not sure why that is, why I feel like that, but kind of they did it in a different way. Maybe it was also because I liked the character with Pathfinder way better. Like here, I only liked Eda, but he also, I mean, he's like a really cool guy. I also like the voice. Yeah.
Oh, other than the war, I never strayed too far from where you found me. Farming, mostly. I was never much for cities. Never learned a trade. In my younger days, of course.
That's sad.
What's on your mind?
Let's see you later. See you later, buddy. So this guy I like most. And then otherwise, like, there is a good selection here. But I kind of, you know, the spark never really came for me personally with these guys. For some reason. I'm not sure why. Yeah, but it sparked way better with Pathfinder. But still, yeah, it's a good game. Certainly a good game. I would evaluate it like with 82 points of 100 or so. Yeah. And if you like the CRPGs, then it is certainly something you need to look into, and it is certainly one of the higher quality, and it's epic. Yeah, it's certainly epic. So, that being said, thanks for watching. I would appreciate if you click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, so you never ever miss an episode again. See you next time. Bye-bye.